What's happening, everybody? I am back. It's me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, and I'm here with my part 3 of Crisis on Infinite Earth's After Show. It's just been me, myself, decided to do this. Thank you to everybody who has been rocking with me since I decided to pop this off. I appreciate you all. It means more to me than you know. I especially needed to do this today after the day that I've been having. Some people may have seen me on Collider Heroes today, and that was fun, but after that, I really felt terrible. My depression hit me hard, and so I feel like I've been doing nothing. All of this has been for naught. Like, I'm doing all this work and getting no recognition for it, and it's not getting me any further. So sometimes I feel like it's just nothing, but nonetheless, I want to come on here and have a whole lot of fun with y'all. Thank you to everybody that is currently in the chat. I will be trying to check the chat back and forth as I go through what the episode was. By the way, now I just watched the East Coast, Central Coast, Midwest feed. So if you have not seen it yet, there's going to be spoilers. So, oops, you've been warned. So like if you come in later, or if you like have somebody come in later and they be like, why is he talking about what happened? I told you from jump, it's going to be spoilers. So, ta-da! Man, this was the Flash's episode, and I will say this. I loved it just because I love the way the Flash is done. A lot of people have issues with the Flash, and I get it. Speeds is all the time. But this one was structured so well. This has been the best one thus far of the 3 episodes, in my honest opinion. Supergirl set it up nicely. The Batwoman one was like, I got it, but eh. And then you had this one. By the way, because I see it's happening right now, and I'm about to address them right now. If you want to drop in the super chat, I will acknowledge yours right then and then. I will see you. So make sure if you want to drop in that super chat, it is appreciated. I'm grateful for it, and I will acknowledge you. Thank you, Preston Bryan, who said this episode might have been the best one so far. I definitely agree with you, man. This one hit on all the cylinders right where it was supposed to be. Keena Wiltz, shouts out to Keena, says that Lucifer cameo was awesome. I just want to let y'all know that if you listen to the Mad Titan podcast regularly, where you can find me, where I get you caught up on everything that is happening in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universes, I've been telling y'all this Lucifer cameo was happening. Then people were like, no, he said it wasn't happening. And so they made websites, articles about him saying it wasn't happening. I'm like, yo, it's happening. And ta-da, it happened. So y'all gonna give me some credit yet? Y'all gonna still give me some credit yet? But to see Ashley Scott in the beginning, the Huntress from the Birds of Prey series. Again, the cameos that you're gonna get are quick. Some are just here to watch their Earths disappear. Some are just here to help set up other things. Again, Lucifer. But you see the Birds of Prey one where she's calling out to Oracle. They're in New Gotham. These things happen how they're happening, and I dig that. I love the way this is going. Also, I like the fact that you still get the humor that is with the Flash's episodes. You're always going to have that humor, and that was definitely brought and translated there. Shouts out to Sterling and Lauren, who wrote an amazing episode. Yo, y'all did not disappoint. But the fact that when you have everybody for the first time on the Wave Rider, and Elongated Man tries to talk to Batwoman, and he's like, how you doing, Rough Dude, Elongated Man? And then Killer Frost is like, ignore him, it's his first crossover. The fact that they are meta with the crossovers, to me, is always hilarious. The fact we find out who the final 3 Paragons are. John Johns is the Paragon of Love. Honor. Barry's the Paragon of Love, and Ryan Choi is the Paragon of Humanity. Now, Ryan Choi is significant because in the comics as well, he will become the new Adam. So he will officially be going to Legends of Tomorrow. Shouts out to Nick Rice. Keep pushing, big dog. We riding with your great work, man. Thank you so much. I am grateful for you all. I'm gonna go through some of this. So Driz215 says, so was Jim Kerrigan just chilling in purgatory? Yeah. The Spectre was in purgatory. That's another cameo, and it works because, again, from episode 1, we're 3 episodes in, right? Episode 1, I told y'all Oliver died. Oliver Queen is dead. Now you will see Stephen Amell, but Oliver Queen is dead. Are you all getting it now? And I'm sorry to try to come off harsh, but like people were kind of saying, no, they can bring Oliver back. They showed you any way they could bring him back. It's not happening now. It's official. Oliver Queen that we know from Arrow is officially gone. He chose to stay with Jim to serve a higher purpose. So I don't know what that higher purpose is going to be just yet. I think we're all going to find out. And just like how Diggle found out about Sarah, about Oliver dying, and he was a bit upset about it, and found out that Lila is gone. You know what I'm saying? So, what else did it? I knew that the Monitor was going to give Vibe back his powers. I think we kind of knew that was going to happen. That was the only way Vibe would be, efficient in this episode. But using Vibe in the way they did and getting John Wesley's ship, which again, pat on the back, baby. Here's the thing. I'm going to toot my horn because a lot of things I've said, I've predicted, I've talked to sources about, have come to fruition, and yet I'm still here like, people like, oh, you just was guessing. How was I guessing everything that's happened that I told y'all when it comes to certain things? Everybody was like, somebody tweeted me, was like, well, it being Barry Allen from the John Wesley ship Barry Allen was predictable. Was it? Was it? Because there are many. It could have been Jay Garrick. Jay Garrick is still the Flash. But Earth 3 was already decimated. But nonetheless, there's still different Flashes. The Reverse Flash, all this. So, I want to go there. Let me see. I'm seeing what's coming. I just didn't like Lex Luthor wrote out Superman because he didn't like him. That's what Marvelese D says. Bizzle the Truth says. That was annoying. All right, so let's talk about this. A lot of people have had their feelings about John Cryer as Lex Luthor. Now, in Supergirl, I kind of dug him. I got where they were going with them. It worked. But when you started bringing him into the fold as crossover, especially that scene with Tom Welling, that's when it all fell off for me. Of course, you have Luthor using the Book of Destiny. You have Luthor, doing those things. I'm kind of confused as to why they keep bringing up Dr. Deegan and they're not going to bring him in. Like, I get he was referencing elsewhere, but shouldn't he be a part of this crossover? That's just another thing. But now the things that are happening with Lex, I'm like, all right. And at the end of the episode, I'm not going to go bit by bit, but the end, the Pariah basically sends the Paragons off. And then you have Lex deciding, hey, the Paragons are going to get sent off to the Vanishing Point, which I don't know how he knew about the Vanishing Point unless it was through the book. But he decided to take out his pettiness and remove one Paragon, which of course is Kingdom Come Superman. So when he changed his name, you're wondering what happened to Superman. Superman takes Lex's place on the Wave Rider, a la gets hit with the antimatter wave. Speaking of which, before that Superman died or went back through antimatter, can we talk about the ass whooping he took from Harbinger? Look, Archie Marie Anderson has been playing phenomenal as Lila. It's been building up to something and we never really knew what it was. Many people thought it was just the Suicide Squad, Task Force X, whatever you want to call it. But to have it all come into fold as Harbinger and have the Anti-Monitor use Harbinger to get on the Wave Rider and thump the shit out of Superman. Pardon my expression, ladies and gentlemen, I might have kids watching this. Thump the shit out of Superman was great to see. Because nobody saw it coming. Nobody saw it coming. One of the best parts for me was the introduction to Black Lightning. Because, again, I did a couple of videos before. And I've been live and it's been recaps and stuff like that. And people kept saying, there's certain people like, well, Black Lightning's just going to play second fiddle to Oliver Queen. And I kept telling them, no, it's not going to happen. He will not be playing second fiddle to Oliver Queen. Stop that. Well, yeah, because Oliver's going to be the dude. He's just going to be a black dude in the background. I was like, I'm telling you, that's not going to happen because they would not have allowed Black Lightning to be a part of this crossover if it was just going to demean where he was. Cress Williams' character has a strong stance and he's been a hero for 20, 30 years. So why would you have him get put into this crossover element where all of a sudden he has to take a back seat because now somebody who's been doing it 10, 12 total is, just 8. I'm sorry, just 8 years. Because if you count the 8 and then the 5, so the 5 on Island, he's really not a hero then. But these 8 years as opposed to 20. It's not trying to pull a rank card, but it's just, it wouldn't seem right. And so to have to have Jefferson come in with that emotion that he came in out the gate, like, yo, my family just got zapped the hell up out of here. And like, you see it and it's real right there at that moment. And I think that's one of the things we don't see a lot of times in these shows. You have these high stakes moments. You have these moments where you're supposed to invoke a lot of emotion. You're supposed to get riled up, whether it's happy, sad, angry, mad, whatever the case may be, and you're supposed to translate that through the screen so that myself and you all, the viewers, we all know what that character is feeling. And I felt for Jefferson Pierce at that moment, the moment he came through. You know what I'm saying? So to watch him, buckle down, like, look, what I got to do to try to stop this, and help to try to contain some energy, where he even was like, I don't know, let's just see what happens. And it shows how powerful Black Lightning is, because we kind of steer away from it sometimes on Black Lightning itself. We know he's powerful, but we steer away from exactly how powerful he is, because we're pushing up the daughters, which we should. But you got to remember, just as powerful as Jen is, even though she is more powerful, Black Lightning is still powerful to a level, and we saw that. The way we saw Barry Allen from Earth 90 die, it was like, yo, this hurts. But it was understood. A Flash had to die. And first of all, can we talk about how Earth 1 Barry Allen was like, well, shit, this is the time I got to go. Listen, I'm sorry. Look, I know what he said. The Flash got to go. I'm the Flash. I don't care about you. I'm the one that got to disappear, because he been looking me in the face with them skinny cornrows telling me I got to go. So if a black dude with thick-ass mutton chops and tiny, tiny cornrows tell me I got to go, I got to go. And the other Barry Allen was like, yo, he said a Flash, bro. Calm down. Like, a Flash got disappeared, not the Flash, like a Flash. Like, you can be good. And I do like the emotion of him not wanting to see him go, because again, that Flash has his dad's face. So I get that. I'm gonna go into the chat real quick and see some questions that I didn't get up. So what's up with the body? As far as Oliver's body, they'll have the funeral for him on the last episode of Arrow. Which, by the way, I've been mistaken. I thought it was 8 episodes, so please forgive me for that. It is actually 10. So that is my apology. It is 10. When we come back to Arrow, the comeback Arrow is the backdoor pilot, Green Arrow and the Canaries. The final 2 after that are the complete swan song, funeral, and everything. So again, please forgive me for my incorrect information on that, because I was under the impression it was just 8 episodes, because I kept hearing it getting cut and different things. So please forgive me for that. I'm not sure being Earth 90 was predictable at all. I would have liked to seen that switcheroo happen at the last second. I don't know if it could have happened at the last second. Like, I think it would have been playing the whole cutting it too close with what it was. So I kind of rocked with it the way it was. That's Preston Bryan, excuse me, by the way. Marvelous D, did Black Lightning get wiped out? Yes. If you watch at the end, he was on the Wave Rider, so he is gone with everyone that's still on the Wave Rider. The Black Lightning show was incredible. His role in Crisis Tonight was lackluster. Tracy Lee, Now, you said, let me say this out loud again. This is what Tracy Lee says. The Black Lightning show, the episode last night, was incredible. His role in Crisis Tonight was lackluster. I hope it gets better. Well, here's the thing. You have to remember, he's a part of this crossover. But this is still the Flash's episode. You can't have him be just come in, wrecking shop, and everything is focused on him. As much as a lot of us who are fans of Black Lightning would like it to be, remember these crossovers, especially these massive ones, even though they are spread through different shows, they keep their show's theme for each episode. So Supergirl's episode had a Supergirl theme. Batwoman's episode, even though the Batwoman show is a cluster, kept its theme, which is why I figured out why that episode was not that good last night. I couldn't put my finger on it. I was like, something about it, and that's because it's a Batwoman-driven show with a theme. This one being The Flash, it works. It's all about Team Flash. And of course, with Crisis, this is the biggest thing we've been dealing with since damn near season 1 and 2, to get to the Flash and Crisis and disappearing and everything. And so it would focus more on Team Flash, if that makes sense. It would focus more on them. Like, I get it. I'd want to see Jefferson do a lot more. But now you have started to get him acquainted to all the other heroes. Like, you can't just also have him jump in and doing everything like he's just good with everybody, because it wouldn't work. It wouldn't make sense. But I will tell you one thing that made sense to me, and every black man and woman more than likely caught this. When Jefferson was talking and Diggle and him talking, and they just looked at each other and went like this, that is the most black man, I got your back, what up, bruh, than you will ever see. Also, by the way, with the Flash from the 90s, I forgot about saying this. I love the fact that they used a clip from the show to help reference for people who may not have known about that show at all. I think that was a great thing for them to do. Even though it was a small clip, it was a clip from the 90s. I rocked with it. What else is there on the show? Lucifer. We go to Earth 666. Lucifer's bar. Told y'all about that. Why'd I make it seem like I didn't bring that up already? Damn. The team learns that finally Earth 2 is dead, which is something a lot of people have been waiting for. Like, yo, Oliver them knows that Earth 2 is gone. Why isn't Barry them don't know? And especially after the first episode. But now they know, so everything is catching up. Earth 90 Flat, Spectre, Oliver. Jefferson and Barry's moment that they shared. That was something we kept hearing about for a while. That is something we kept hearing about for a while, especially from Cress Williams. If you've checked out here on the channel, I have an interview up that I did with Cress Williams when I was on the set of Black Lightning this past October, and he said that was one of his best moments. Was that moment with Barry, where they shared that touching moment, and it was talking about their fathers and them being the sons, and not being quitters and pushing through, and how they formed this alliance, which now, because of what Crisis becomes at the end, what the end result is, shall I say, they can now cross over more easily, if you get what I'm saying. Now it is not an awkward transition if you bring Barry Allen to Freeland, or if you bring Jefferson Pierce to Central City, something like that. The anti-monitor man and Lex. So that was something I saw in the comments. I didn't get a chance to acknowledge. I saw it briefly in the chat. My apologies, but I did write this down. So again, like I said, no, I just acknowledged it about how Lex did it. Yeah, didn't I say something? My brain has been scrambled all day. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. I just wanted to make sure I got this. But now you have 6 of the 7 Paragons in the Vanishing Point. All of these things that have been established throughout the runs of the Arrowverse. There's no real loose ends, and this one tied a lot of ends up that we may have thought might have been loose ends. The fact that it's not the same Wave Rider, because I know a lot of people are like, well, what about when it comes to Legends? That's a different Wave Rider. And the fact you still have the Captain Cole Leonard Snart cameo, in a sense, him being the Gideon of the ship. I'm going to go back into the chat real quick. Somebody just asked a question. Corey Richmond says, if someone had never seen Black Lightning before tonight, do you think they did enough to make non-viewers give the show a chance going forward? That's a great question. I honestly believe they did. Well, first and foremost, last night's episode was one of the highest rated episodes of the series ever, because of course it flowing into Crisis. I think having seen this new hero, who many people were like, I don't know who Black Lightning is, I don't care, and unless you really watch Young Justice, you do not know who he is. So you watch this hero, and you watch him interact with these other heroes. You see him use his abilities, but then you see that moment between him and Barry. And that in itself will help people to go when it comes back in January, which for some God unknown reason, we got to wait a month. So hopefully that answered your question, Corey. We lost Earth 203. Do you think, King One Kid says, do you think the CW Kid Flash can make a cameo in Titans? Well, that was something that had been discussed. I had heard about it. It had been rumored. And I don't know if they would do it, simply for the fact that Wally West, the way King and Lonsdale played it, it is the young at heart, kind of Wally West. When you go to Titans, you have this darker, more serious version. It has some elements of humor, but it's not as light and as fluffy per se as The Flash, as Legends of Tomorrow is. So I think it would seem him out of place. Granted, having Kid Flash on the Titans would work. Also, their budget. If you have not noticed in Titans, Beast Boy can only turn into a tiger. That's it. He turns into nothing else but a tiger. He's not a Beast Boy. He's just Guard Tiger Logan. That's all he is. Okay? You got that. Raven's powers you don't see much of. Starfire's is like hit or miss. It's budget, CGI budget reasons. And trying to do the lightning sequences with the running and everything, I don't know if the DC Universe shows have that type of budget, because of course we saw Swamp Thing didn't have it, and that show is hella gone now. Even though it wasn't about Swamp Thing, it was all about Abby Arcane, which I never understood in the first place. Let me see. Marvelous D says, do you think when this crisis is over, do you think they will bring everything and everyone back like the Avengers Endgame, even though it is a CW show? Great question. So in the first episode of this review I did, as well as a preview I brought up what happens towards the end of Crisis. People will come back, but they'll have no recollection of anything that happened. So I think the Book of Destiny is going to play a major part in this. I think the immediate families for sure are coming back, and somehow, some way, pockets of people from each Earth and each hero's life will come to form the new Earth, because it'll be a while. We won't have any more Earths. It'll just be one Earth, and that's it. So I think they're going to do that. It's just a matter of how. Will it be the Book of Destiny, given the fact Marnovu seems to be dead? Whatever the case may be, that is how they're going to bring it back together. So yeah, you'll have a moment, but I'm not sure you'll get an Avengers Endgame type moment, because to put all those breaches, again, it's one of those things about the budget. You know, things that we think seem simple cost a hell of a lot of money. So to open up all of these breaches, to have heroes come in, and also you got to remember, these heroes cameos were just that. They were just cameos. So unfortunately, this giant ensemble, which a lot of people thought we were going to get, we're not getting. So I hope that answered your question. They start the finale, so it will line up with the Arrow finale. I hate it. That's Lemonade T. No problem, Marvelise. What's the other answer to that question? Maybe. Okay. So, yeah. So, right now, where we stand, we got 4 or 5 weeks until it all concludes with the final 2 shows. We've concluded with the Arrow episode, as well the Arrow's crossover episode, which I believe is going to be the backdoor pilot. I'm confused how they're going to do it, but it's Arrow and then Legends. Like, it's so confusing. But we have 2 more episodes. So now everything is up in the air. The majority of the cameos we've gotten, I think there are others we are yet to get. I've heard of 1 or 2 we still have not gotten, and I think that may happen with a return. You know I've said a minute ago, like, the cameos are done with the, Waves, the animator taking them out, but I believe we might get a few that brings them back in just to save it for the pop factor. Preston Bryant, mixing practical and CGI will lower the cost effect. I know that, you know that. They seem to not get that. I don't know why everybody's so reliant upon CGI. I think practical effects, when they're done right, can be done very well. I understand when it comes to certain heroes, you have to have practical. Case in point, John Johns is the Paragon of Honor. Now, John Johns is that. The Martian Manhunter's picture is what we've seen on the screen. The Martian Manhunter's picture. But David Harwood has just been a brother who uses texturizer in his hair and a suede jacket the whole time. John Johns, they'll be waiting for that budget spin on the last episode, because again, it's hard. The practical effects of the changing and the phasing and things like that, I don't know how that will play a major factor behind that. By how much would the cost be lowered? I'm not exactly sure. I couldn't say it's a lot, and I can't say it's a little, but I do know that CGI in itself, the level in which they use Warner Brothers that allocates a budget is very high. It's very, very high. And so it's a hope and a prayer. And again, I always come on here when I talk about these shows. I talk about them because I love them. If there's criticisms I see and I find, I talk about it out of love and respect, because I don't want nobody thinking, Jay just shitting on shows. I'm not. Also, Jay would love to be on the show. I could have been Chester. You know what I'm saying? I could have been Chester. Y'all could have antimatter wave wiped me out. I'd have used that in a reel. But I'm glad we have what we have. Let me see. Corey Richmond says, Ruby Rose is a terrible actress, but becomes less noticeable in the crossovers. I would add Batwoman to Supergirl next season. That is something I wanted to bring up. Thank you, Corey. You notice how we got a Batwoman versus Supergirl. We are going to build to that. And I understand, again, I said yesterday in the last video, if you go back and watch it, you are never going to get Batman on this. Face it, it's just not going to happen. You're not going to see the actual Batman. too high of a property. You can tease it with the 2. Yes, I truly believe that Ruby Rose as Batwoman is tolerable in these crossovers because Ruby Rose is an amazing supporting actress. We've seen her be a lead actress so far. How many episodes we're into Batwoman? We've thought after the first 2 or 3 maybe things would change, and they have not. And there are a lot of people who want to see this show get better and improve, but unfortunately it's not. And it's just that she's not a lead of this type of show, but she's amazing when it folds in with everybody else. Her relationship with Kara is great. The fact she was going to give Kara the super night, Lord, what the fuck am I thinking? Pardon me. The kryptonite. She was going to give Kara the kryptonite, and Kara was like, no, you keep it. These little moments, they work, they build. And then we go back to the regular season afterwards, and we're like, oh, that's the thing we're doing? So it all depends, man. It all depends. Let me see. I got somebody. Preston Bryant has another thing. He said, these effing companies say they want the best products but don't use different techniques to allocate the money they have in different places. Preston Bryant also says, Mark Guggenheim just said on the After Show, that the Batwoman-Supergirl relationship will replace the Barry Oliver dynamic. I can see that. You have to have that sibling type thing. One ups the other a little bit, but they always come to each other. Again, Gotham is super dark. National City is light, whereas Star City was dark. Central City is light. So I can see that, and I think it definitely will work in that case. I'm looking forward to seeing more how to do it. And because, of course, in Elseworlds, they mentioned World's Finest. So that was something we had coming, down the pipeline. But that is pretty much, any more questions or anything, because that's pretty much all I got for this. Like I said, I want to do a quick half hour, whatnot. So any more questions, comments, you want to drop them in the chat, super chat, whatever. You drop them out, I'm going to get to them so we can go ahead and get up out of here. We need to talk a lot about the music in this series. I've heard Team Sharp says, we need to talk about the music in the series. I heard a lot of the old Flash theme. Yes, you did. You definitely did in this one. Again, it is a Flash episode, so you're definitely going to hear those Flash things. Even if you paid attention in last night's episode, you heard the Superman theme just for a moment. Just for a moment. So they are paying homage to everything they need to. Lemonade T says, just a thank you for the stream and tweets, Jay. Salute, brother. Appreciate it much. I'm just doing this because a regular dude. I'm a regular dude that's got comic posters and all this crap behind him, and I just want to be able to give back and have a discussion with people and just keep it A100. Like, why not? Like, I can go and talk on all these networks and I have fun doing it, but also sometimes I just want to be able to be myself. And like I said, I do that here, and I do that on the Mad Titan podcast, which you need to check out. Shout out to everybody who checked it out and who's seen BC on the most recent episode of SEN Live and was like, yo, this BC from the Mad Titan podcast, which means a lot because it means you're referencing what I do. They needed that series. Okay. Oh, Corey Richmond says one that's a good one. Real quick. Do you think we'll get one more Tom Welling scene at the very end during the final montage? Nope. Tom Welling's money was spent for what you got. That was it. I know a lot of people were disappointed because it's like, yo, we're not going to get him in the suit. And I told everybody originally was like, no, you're just going to get Tom Welling as Clark Kent. Now, we didn't know he was going to be a powerless Clark Kent, but you got Tom Welling as Clark Kent. So that was that. Yo, you regular, but you sweaty and you Mad Titan. I'm sorry, Jay, I was talking about the Lois and Clark, the new Adventures of Superman. Yeah, it's weird we didn't even get a Dean Cain or anything, but Dean Cain probably was like, I need $1.5 million. And they was like, well, we're going to hang up this phone right now. So, when will we get, Jarvis Gardner says, will we get a Justice League? Now, here's what, I'm glad you asked that, and I'm ready to get out of here on this note. At the end of this, when they are assembled, whether it is in the Arrow or the Legends episode, they will call themselves the Justice League. They will officially call themselves together the Justice League. Will we officially use the old Star City hangar that we saw, I think it was in the second crossover, as the Hall of Justice? Who knows? Again, Barry Allen got a hell of a lot of money to make things happen, so we don't know how that'll play out, all right? But I want to thank everybody for rocking with me here live on the live stream, everybody that's watching later. I appreciate you all, as always, and I mean that in all the sincerity. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington. That's MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington, right? You really should. Make sure, if you want to join my Supervillain Squad on Patreon, patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. I'm throwing up a bunch of stuff. I keep telling y'all during this break that's coming up, because now we're on this break. You all are going to get a bunch of content through there, because I need to fill something up for you guys, and I want to give it to my members of my squad first and foremost. And thank y'all for being a part and rocking with me as well. And check out the Mad Titan podcast. It's everywhere you get your podcast from. I get you caught up on everything that's happening in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universes. It is barbershop talk for nerds. So come on in the convo. And if this is your first time to my channel, there's a button right down there, something that says subscribe. You should click that button, right? And then when you click it, it's going to be a bell that says like notifications, so you know when I'm coming on. Click the notification bell as well. And you be like, damn, Jay just dropped something at like 2 in the morning. Like, Jay should be asleep, which he ain't. He ain't, because he still got to do the Black Lightning review, which is coming up soon. So I'll holler at you guys later. You guys have been amazing. Where's the cursor on my screen? There it goes. You guys have been amazing. Take care. I'm out of here. Peace. Okay, we can...